You woke up this morning and you already felt behind. You didn't even open your eyes yet and the weight was already there. That familiar heaviness sitting on your chest, the one that whispers you're not doing enough. You scrolled through your phone before your feet touched the floor, checked messages you didn't want to answer, looked at lives that seemed easier than yours. And somewhere in those first 5 minutes, you lost something. You can't name it, but you feel it missing. The day hasn't started and you're already tired. Not physically. Deeper than that. You're tired of starting over. Tired of promising yourself tomorrow will be different. Tired of carrying this quiet disappointment that no one else can see. You tell yourself you'll get it together. You'll start that thing. You'll be consistent this time. But by noon, the old patterns return. By evening, you're back where you started, planning a better tomorrow that looks exactly like today, and the cycle continues. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just caught in something you can't see clearly enough to escape, and it's eating you alive one morning at a time. You know this feeling, because you woke up with it today. It's not the big failures that break you. It's the small ones you don't talk about. The ones that happen before anyone else is awake. You hit snooze and tell yourself 5 more minutes won't matter, but you feel the cost immediately. That tiny voice that says you can't even beat the alarm clock. How are you supposed to beat anything else? You stand in the shower replaying yesterday's moments. The things you said you'd do. The person you said you'd be. And here you are. Same thoughts, same fog, same you. The morning used to feel like possibility. Now it feels like evidence. Evidence that you're stuck. Evidence that change is just something other people do. Evidence that you're watching your own life happen instead of living it. You make coffee and check your phone again. 30 minutes disappear into nothing. No memory of what you even looked at. Just a vague sense that you should have started by now. Should have done something that mattered. You sit at your desk, or your kitchen table, or wherever you pretend to begin, and you feel the gap between who you are and who you want to be. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. It's the kind of pain that doesn't get sympathy because it doesn't have a name, but it's there. Every single morning. Growing. You think the problem is motivation. That's what you've been told. Find your why. Get inspired, watch the right video, read the right quote. But motivation is a trick. It comes and goes like weather, and you can't build a life on something that unreliable. The real enemy isn't lack of drive. It's comfort disguised as rest. It's distraction dressed up as connection. It's tomorrow pretending to be a real place you can get to. You're not failing because you don't care. You're failing because the system you're living in was designed to keep you soft. To keep you scrolling, to keep you comfortable enough to stay stuck, but uncomfortable enough to keep searching. And you've been searching in the wrong place. You've been waiting for the feeling to come first, waiting to feel ready, feel motivated, feel like the person who does hard things. But that person doesn't exist yet, because that person is built in the mornings you don't feel like starting. The enemy is the voice that says, later. The one that sounds so reasonable, so kind even. It tells you to take it easy. You've been through a lot. You deserve a break. And maybe you do. But the break never ends. And the person you're supposed to become is still waiting on the other side of a decision you won't make. You've been negotiating with comfort for so long, you forgot what the other side feels like. The side where you keep promises to yourself. Where your word means something. Where the morning isn't something you survive, it's something you own. But here's the truth you've been avoiding. You don't need a new strategy. You don't need another productivity hack or miracle routine. You need to decide who you are. Because right now, you're living as someone who wants to change. And that person never does. They live in the gap between intention and action. They collect ideas and never use them. They start strong and fade by Thursday. The person who actually changes is someone different. Someone who doesn't wait for permission from their feelings. Someone who understands that discipline isn't punishment. It's self-respect in motion. It's the decision to stop betraying yourself in small ways. Every time you hit snooze, you tell yourself you don't matter. Every time you scroll instead of start, you reinforce the belief that your time has no value. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you build evidence that you can't be trusted, and your subconscious is keeping score. It knows. It knows you've quit on yourself 1,000 times, and it's waiting to see if this time will be different. This isn't about perfection. It's about pattern. It's about proving to yourself in the smallest possible way that you can do what you say you'll do. That's where power lives. Not in the big dramatic transformations. In the quiet 6 a.m. decision to get up when every part of you wants to stay down. That's the moment everything changes. Not because the action itself is life-changing, but because you become someone who keeps their word. And that person can do anything. You think discipline is rigid, cold, a life of denying yourself things you want. But you've got it backwards. Discipline is the only way out of the cage you're in. The cage of distraction, delay, and disappointment. Right now, you're controlled by impulse, by whatever feels good in the moment, and those moments are running your life into the ground. Discipline doesn't take freedom away. It gives it back. When you control your mornings, you control your mind. When you control your mind, you control your day. When you control your day, you take back your life. It starts small. One decision before your feet hit the floor. One action before you check your phone. One promise kept before the world asks anything from you. That's the system. Not a perfect routine. Not a 5-step formula. Just the practice of becoming someone who doesn't negotiate. Someone who decides the night before and executes in the morning. No debate. No second guessing. No waiting for the right feeling. You wake up and you move. Not because you feel like it. Because you said you would. And your word is starting to mean something again. This is how you rebuild trust with yourself. This is how you stop feeling like a passenger in your own life. You do the thing when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because that's when it counts. That's when you're building the person you're trying to become. The mornings are where it happens. Quietly. Without applause. Without anyone watching. Just you and the choice. And over time, those choices compound into someone unrecognizable. Someone free. There's no finish line here. No day where you suddenly arrive and everything is easy. This is about identity. About becoming the kind of person who doesn't need motivation. Because they've replaced it with something stronger. Commitment. The world will keep offering you comfort. It will keep whispering that you can start tomorrow, that you deserve to take it easy, that one day won't matter, but you'll know better, because you've felt what it's like to keep a promise to yourself. You've tasted what it feels like to win the morning. And once you know that feeling, nothing else compares. You're not chasing perfection. You're practicing alignment, aligning your actions with the person you say you want to be. Closing the gap between who you are and who you're capable of becoming. And that gap closes one morning at a time. In the dark, in the silence, in the moment before you make the choice. This is the system, not a hack, not a trick, a way of living that compounds, a way of being that builds quietly until everyone around you wonders what changed, and you'll know. You changed. Not all at once, not loudly, but completely. It started with a morning, a decision, a refusal to negotiate, and it never stopped. So the question isn't whether this works. The question is whether you'll do it. Whether you'll stop reading about change and start being it. Whether tomorrow morning will be different. Or just another promise you break. The alarm will go off, and you'll have a choice. Same as always. But maybe this time you'll remember what's on the other side of that choice. And maybe that will be enough.